Hello, this is Tom Figg, City Councilman in the City of Port Hueneme, and we're here to introduce Wanderi Lopez, who's a 2013 graduate of the Navy Junior ROTC program operated through Hueneme High School. And so we've invited him to share some of his experiences and his future plans that all tie back to the ROTC program. So with that, take it away.
Hi everyone, my name is Wanderi Lopez. As Mr. Figg said, I am a 2013 graduate of the NJROTC program at Hueneme High School. I've been in it all 4 years, and I'm here to talk about a little bit of my experience and kind of how it has affected me throughout high school and how it currently and still has and will probably continue to affect me throughout my college career. So I enrolled in ROTC actually in middle school. I was given the option either PE or NJROTC. NJROTC sounded interesting to me, one because of the military type of aspect of it, the discipline, and I thought at the time, I kind of needed that. I don't really have a direction that I'm heading towards, so I thought that'd be a good thing for me to have. And two, because I knew some of my friends were going to join and we didn't really know what to expect. There wasn't quite enough information about it at the time, and there wasn't anyone that I could ask at the middle school, what kind of happens on there, what do you learn? But we decided to go ahead and take the plunge. And so I'm here to kind of clear up any of those either misconceptions or lack of information that either you or your son and or daughter may have. So my freshman year, I was pretty uninvolved in the program, even though I attended regularly. I was part of it, but I wasn't part of the extracurricular aspect of it. I attended class. I did all the lessons that Chief Hayes and Commander Mills gave. Everything was good, but it wasn't great. Coming around my second year, I started to get involved in some of the extracurricular activities that the program has to offer, namely the unarmed drill team. I was part of that throughout my whole year. I attended practice every day, 3 times after school, 3 times a week, and that kind of made me more involved in the program and made me see its full potential rather than just attending class every day, doing the work required and getting the grade. Starting my second year, like I said, I began to get more and more involved. Come my third year, I had done so well in my second year that I had been appointed into, I believe, 3 leadership positions within the unit, running 2 of the teams in the unit, and I believe being the administrative officer of the unit. At this point, I was very, very deep within the unit. I met a lot of good friends there that I still, to this day, continue to talk to. A lot of the things that Chief and Commander Mills taught me during regular class time were also very interesting to me. Things about the United States Navy, the Constitution, a lot of actual government structure, things of that sort of nature that you kind of touch on in history class but don't really go more in depth about what they mean. So these were all very valuable things that were missing from my regular curriculum. Because of this, in my third year, well, going back to the point that I was making, I had been appointed to 3 leadership positions, and I continued that way throughout the year. Come my 4th year, I was made the commanding officer of the unit, which is the topmost position in the unit. And because of that, that opened up a lot of opportunities for me, not just within the unit, but actually academically as well. My senior year, I was awarded the 2 scholarships, one of which was the Naval ROTC scholarship that was valued at around $180,000. Which is essentially a full ride to college. I was awarded that largely in part because of my involvement with the NJROTC program. So that was quite a benefit of the program that carries over after high school, is being open to those type of opportunities and being made competitive for those opportunities. The second scholarship that I won that isn't affiliated with the Navy, but it's the Gates Millennium Scholarship, which is essentially a full ride as well. There's no monetary value attached to it. It's as much as you need for however long you need it. And that I strongly attribute to my involvement with the ROTC program and all of the leadership positions that I held my junior and senior years. I strongly believe because of those opportunities I had within the unit, that opened up the opportunity for me to obtain that scholarship as well. So come my senior year, I was doing really well. I was like I said, the commanding officer of the unit, and I had just won 2 full ride scholarships to whatever school I choose. At that point, I began to see the full benefit of my past 4 years within the unit. And not just only that, I also used Chief Hayes and Commander Mills as counselors, essentially. They walked me through my different options that I had. They gave me advice that other teachers probably just wouldn't have given me. And they were definitely very real with me in my options. And I definitely knew that I had a friend in them as well. And not just another teacher, but more of mentors, I would say. So that was my experience in high school with the ROTC program. After the ROTC program, I went on to major in computer science at UC San Diego, and I'm currently in my 3rd year doing that. Now let me tell you the value of ROTC that I have carried over into my college career. I distinctly remember 2 things that Chief Hayes had repeatedly said to not just me, but the entire class. One of which being, if you're, the quote, if you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late. And I kind of carried that over many times with me, not just through high school, but through college, and that subsequently has, kind of got me into the habit of going to class early, going to, career fairs early, going to job interviews very early, and just kind of teaching me the value of not being late to things, because it doesn't look good when you're late. And I've obviously been exposed to that thanks to Chief Hayes. The second quote that I remember is it's not official unless it's in writing. And that kind of carries over not just to college, but to life in general. I just recently, this past summer, went through my first renting agreement with my first apartment. And one thing that I constantly said to myself throughout that process, when discussing with the leaser, is it's not official unless it's writing. So every month, I would pay rent, and they would not off the top of their head remember to give me a receipt. So I always had to ask, hey, can you give me a receipt with this rent payment? And it's always just good to have records. It's always good to have everything in writing with people's signatures on it. Not just, like I said, in school, but also in life in general. And those are 2 things that were not taught to me as part of the regular high school curriculum. And I think those are 2 very important life lessons among the many that Chief and Commander Mills teach that carry on over for a lifetime. And so now I attribute a large part of my success as not just a college student, but I've interned at software engineering companies for the past 2 summers. I attribute a lot of my performance and great performances in those roles due to the discipline I was taught in ROTC. A lot of the discipline is not just military discipline, it's discipline in working out, it's discipline in eating right, discipline in consistently showing up to things, consistency in, constantly doing your work and doing great work. All of these things I was trained to do in the ROTC program, and subsequently I've carried over, and I think I'll definitely carry over for perhaps the rest of my life.
Thank you very much.